again, Stephanie, for coming on here. We've known each other or of each other for a while. We're in the Rhino tribe.
Yeah.
But for those who may not know, just start off by explaining who you are and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Stephanie Hunt, and I live in Columbus, Ohio. I joined the tribe. It's been the Rhino Tribe Wholesaling Inc. It's been about 3 years now, and I started wholesaling 4 years ago. Prior to that, I had been a stay-at-home mom for 15 years,
Wow.
and I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I read it years before I even I think I read it back in 2008, and I didn't do anything until about 2000. Oh, I know exactly when it was, 2021.
Mm,
And the reason that I read that book and it just stuck with me, and I was homeschooling my children at the time, so it just wasn't the right moment to act yet. But when the time came, my last two children, they're twins, were in they're in their last year of high school, and I just knew the Lord was like, it's time. So I started, and it's been hard and it's been great.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I had no idea that, you were homeschooling your kids and you were a stay-at-home mom. So 15 years of doing that. So
Yep.
how hard was it for you to, pretty much change your identity?
Yeah, that it was really hard. And prior to that, Travis, I have a degree from Ohio State University
Wow.
in finance. So prior to that, had a degree and I thought, oh, for sure, I'm going to go back to work. But I read that book and that just changed my brain. And the transition was, honestly, it wasn't so horribly bad. When I believe that you've put in the work and you've put it all in, and when that time comes to move, you move because you know that you put all the work in. So
Yeah.
I put in a lot of work into my family, a lot, and I loved it, and it was amazing, fantastic, the best thing that it was a really great sweet spot in my life. So, but when it was done, it's like, okay, it was done. Now moving into wholesaling and the dynamics of that, how hard it is. I shed a lot of tears,
Yeah.
a lot. I cried a lot. And I remember one of my cousins asking me, she said, how many tears are you going to cry? And I'm glad I had the mind to say, well, as many as it takes.
Yeah.
And when I said that, I said, oh, that was good. That means my mind is changing, means I'm reading the right things. I'm in the right environment, right? So that was so yes, was the transition hard? Going in it, making the decision to go into it? No, it was not hard. But being in it, hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard for
Yeah.
sure.
It never gets easier. It does. It just keeps getting harder.
It does get harder, and but I do think that we build more endurance for it,
Yeah.
a larger capacity for it. Right now, I realize that. Oh, I have a quick story to share if you don't mind.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So last week, I found a car that I really, really like. And I said, I knew my next car I was going to buy cash, but it was in Tennessee, which is 5 hours away from me. So my son and I would go out and we're headed out to Tennessee. We're just like, we're just going to come in, come back. That's it. Pick up this car, come in, come back. Well, he hit a pothole and that put us stuck on the freeway. And the the trucks are zooming by. It's kind of dangerous, but I knew it was like we'll be fine. We took some tools out the back of his car to change the tire and whatnot. Mind you, I still had my car because I just got my car, got it new, and we're heading back to Columbus. The tools box that we had, we put it out on the side of the road behind his car. The trucks were going by so fast, so hard that it blew it off the
Oh,
side of the road down to the side of the mountain. And Kingston, my son, went down the side of the mountain and got it. I mean, and he was like, at one point he said, I don't think I was going to be able to come back up. Well, anyways, so long story short, we were on the road for a long time. It got dark. And finally, we made it back. We had to do a lot of transitioning, going back and forth, a lot of stuff. Tow truck this, couldn't do this, just a lot. And I realized that I have a great capacity for stuff like this. My son was like, "You're so calm." And I was like, "I am calm." And I was thinking, "This is good, Stephanie. Good job. You're calm." But I also realized that I need to increase my capacity for success because it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm very good at dealing with capacity for when things go wrong, when we got to fix stuff. The washing machine is down. Oh, we got to take apart the dryer. I'm good. I can do that. Probably because I've been a stay-at-home mom for 15 years, right? I have
yeah,
a great capacity for that. But I realized that my new yearning and prayer is that the Lord increases my capacity for success, and meaning that when I know there's the next level of moving forward in the business, moving forward, and hey, this is your next person to hire. This is the next level of responsibility for you.
yeah.
That was a new nuance for me right now that I'm going through.
Oh, I like it. I like that a lot. I love your stories. Like anytime you tell a story on your stories, I
Hmm.
watch and I listen and they affect me like they do. Like
Mm,
I really love them. So I like the way that you take real life scenarios and think deeper than what's going on. Not everybody can do that. Have you always been like that?
no, I haven't. I do believe it's something that's just developed from spending time in God's
Yeah.
word and just and asking those questions like, what does this really mean? Not just read over it and gloss over it and
Yeah.
just say, oh, okay, I know that and I memorized it, but to really understand, what does that mean? And what am I going through? And what is it for me to learn? I remember someone said to a long time ago to say, hey, when you're going through things, take good notes because it's good for someone else,
Yeah.
So it definitely has over time. It was not something that's innate, no.
Oh, that's I mean, that's I think a lot of us, like when we look at people like yourself that are like that or that do something that we don't do, we automatically think, oh, well, they were born like that, but a
Hmm.
lot of it is just gradually learning and taking in and taking those notes and studying,
Right.
becoming a real student of God and life, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I remember Brent Daniels did an interview with the author of The Go Giver.
Mm-hmm.
His last name is Mann. And if I try to say his first name, I think I'm going to mess it up. It's a simple name, but I just can't quite remember what it is. But, anyways, so Mr. Mann, he said, because they were talking about developing and becoming a go giver, becoming
Yeah.
something that you've never been. And he's like, yeah, of course. Anybody can develop it. You can do it. Just
Yeah.
practice it. It is a practice. So you're right. I love that. And that inspired me. I said, I can be something that I've never been before.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, so did you have to, to after, 15 years being a stay-at-home mom, you start looking in and learning about wholesaling. What were some of the biggest obstacles you felt you were facing mentally?
Mm. Whoa. So that's the easy one. One of the biggest obstacles is rejection.
Mm,
Yep. Facing rejection. And I remember when I first started cold calling, I would go in my bathroom and I would look at myself in the mirror and I said, okay, let's go suffer. That's just what it is. Just
oh,
take it on and let's just go suffer. Come on, Stephanie, let's go suffer. And I would cheer myself on for suffering. You're gonna go suffer. So that was huge. And then eventually it was fine. I have fun cold calling now. It's good, it's easy. And even so much so now that we have the whole virtual office. And that's the thing because we have a lot of people that come in and cold call. And I think it is because I made a choice to go suffer
yeah,
and to say, yes, this is a good thing to go suffer. Then the rejection level of rejection took a next level doing the videos, doing the content. I struggled with doing it. If you were to look very close on some of them, especially some of the older ones, sometimes my eyes are red and my nose is a little red. It's because I was crying before I did the video
yeah.
because I didn't want to do it because I was so afraid of rejection. So
It's
rejection,
so hard. It's so
it
hard to
is.
get on camera and talk to people that's not even in front of you at the time. It,
Yes.
it took me a while to just do it as well, you know.
Really?
Yeah, it's just a mental thing in my head. I just had to go through a period of my life where I felt like, there were people that were supposed to be seeing me and I was supposed to be providing value to people and
Hmm.
they didn't see me because I wasn't there, right?
Right. Because you won't show up.
Yeah, so you got to
Because you
show
wouldn't
up.
show up. Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
So I know this is about me, but what made you say, okay, I got to do this? What was it?
Well, last month, December,
Uh-huh.
I went through a little rough spell mentally.
Mm-hmm.
It had nothing to do with business. It was just
Yeah.
a mental thing, and I
Yeah.
was sitting there and I was studying, I was reading, and a Les Brown video came on, and
Mhm.
he just started talking about, putting yourself out there and how your word meant something, and it just
Mhm.
clicked. And ever
Mm.
since then, I've just been going at it.
Yeah.
Um,
Les Brown said something in one of his speeches too that hit me deep. He said, well, are you willing to look ugly for what you want?
mm,
Are you willing to do ugly things for what you want? Are you willing to look stupid? Are you willing to? I'm like, oh, because that's really what it is, boils down to.
yeah,
Because we're afraid that, I'm going to look stupid. It's going to be ugly. This is going to be bad. And the truth is, yeah, it probably will because you're no good at it. You're
yeah.
new. And are you willing to look ugly and look dumb for it? And I had to answer the question and say, yeah, yep, I am. I'm willing.
I'm so happy you were willing.
Thank you.
I am. I'm telling you, like, I know that it sounds like you're an emotional person. You're very in tune with your emotions. But when you get on that camera and your smile's just a beaming, I mean, all of that's out the window. I mean, the
It is
energy
true.
you
And when I'm
provide.
there in it, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It is true. Yeah.
You one of a lot of people don't talk about it, but getting started in real estate or wholesaling, it's very difficult. You got to learn marketing, you got to figure out buyers. There's all this stuff to
Hmm.
figure out. But what a lot of people don't talk about is our mindset
Hmm.
and overcoming past experiences, things that we've went through. We our brain's wired to think, "Oh, well, I can't do this because this happened to me before," and so on. Um,
Right.
I watched a video a couple weeks ago of you, and I'm sorry about your loss of your mother, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Yeah.
you were talking about how, for the longest time you felt like what happened to her was going to happen to you, and that you had
Hmm.
to get over that hurdle. And I feel like that was a very good video because, a lot of people are going through maybe not what you went through, but similar things that's stopping them from getting started. Can you talk a
Right.
little bit about that?
Yeah. So just to give a backstory for anybody who's listening. So my mom passed away when I was 13. And during that time, I just felt like, well, you're tough. You're a tough girl. So people lose their moms all the time. So just go forth, just do it. You know, you don't have to wallow in this. You don't have to make this the determining factor of your whole life. And I never took the time to just grieve, to cry, to really, really cry and to miss her. I felt I'm about to go to high school. I got to just keep trudging on. Well, when she died when she was 37. So when I turned 36, I just thought, "Oh my goodness, I am going to die." And even though I wasn't sick, there was nothing, and she was sick, she had cancer. I wasn't sick. I wasn't anything. And that came back and just hit me so hard. And because I did not face it and didn't deal with my emotions and deal with the sadness, the sorrow, the anger, that it came back later and it hit me mentally. And I was in a really deep, dark place because I was convinced I
Yeah,
was going to die.
yeah,
So, with that lens to today, even right now, going into entrepreneurship, which I would say is the best self development course you could ever take in your life, is when things go bad, because they will, to face them, cry about them, be angry about them, express them, and deal with it. Because the sooner you face it, the better. And the stronger we become. And that is a lesson that it has been so powerful, so good. I remember one of this was probably like maybe my ninth deal. And Travis, I was dragged around like a rag doll in that deal so bad from the seller to the buyer. It was just awful. The seller was like, hey, well, we're not going to do this. And I'm not going to, oh, she didn't want to pay for taxes that were already. And I just said, well, okay. What? No, I shouldn't have said okay, but I did. And then the buyer was like, well, what are you making on this? What are you doing? It was just so much. And I was so disappointed in myself, so upset with myself that I didn't hold a standard. I just let it all flail and just went with whatever they said. So in that, I think I did put a video on. I was crying. I was like, I just it was terrible. I did really, really bad. Still closed the deal, which is great. But in how it was closed, it was really bad. But I definitely understand and know, and I say to anyone, face your emotions. I heard someone say, and it's so, so true, that I want to say it right. We don't face our demons. They go into the depths of our soul and lift weights.
Mhm. Very true.
Yeah. So face your emotions, face the fears, face it, because you don't want them in there lifting weights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so good.
Yeah.
And I feel like once we, face those demons, a whole new world opens up for us, and opportunities and bliss and everything that we want starts to come to us. I mean, there's always going to be times of struggle, but the storms
Yep.
aren't meant to destroy, they're meant to clear path, right?
That's right. It's so true. And I'm gonna lean into that just a little bit more. I know that is for me to post a video every day. I
Yeah.
know. And I don't always hit that mark because of fear or because it is. That's the truth. Because of fear. I still struggle sometimes with fear of being seen. And the first time that I posted for a week straight, you reached out to me.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, this is amazing. The first time I posted for a week straight, you reached out to me. I said, wow, okay. Be obedient. Do what's supposed to do. Face your fears. Do it. Face the fears. Be afraid. Do it anyways.
It's important to lean into those fears,
Yeah.
because our minds and our bodies work together to be comfortable.
It sure does. Oh, say that
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, our mind and our bodies, they're working together to be comfortable. And, what our mind has been saying, our body has been reacting. So
Yeah,
it's really hard to fight it. But once you fight it, I feel like, like I said, a whole new world opens up for us.
I agree. Yeah.
And that's really why I wanted to have you on here. Like, I know this is a real estate show, but I feel like the stuff that we're talking about is just as important as how to find a deal.
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
so important because if our mindset is all messed up and it's so important. It's it's the bottom line. Or it is. It's the bottom line. We don't have the right mindset. If your mind is not solid and sure and full of wisdom and truth, then it's not going to happen.
Love it. So going back to real estate, or going to real estate a little
Yeah.
bit, what does your business look like today? How is it going and what are you doing?
Yeah. So I am strictly cold calling, and one of my sons works with me part time a little bit. So we missed our six-figure mark this year by $11,000, and that really hurt. But but I started off the year with a $35,000 deal right
Nice.
in January, so that was great. And so I can just see it. We're progressing along. I get the numbers. For a long time, Travis, it was a struggle for me to really understand that it is a numbers game.
Yeah.
Like literally, it is not. Yes, we do need skill. We do need to be able to talk to people. Need to know how to talk to people, pull certain things out of them, build rapport, and those are great. And outside of that, it's all about the numbers,
Yeah.
and that's it. Yeah. So I have a transaction coordinator, so that was a big deal. I have that in place. And my next step, which I was talking about earlier, what is the next thing? Increase my capacity for success, which means increase my level of responsibility, my level of being able to handle responsibility,
Yeah.
is to have an assistant.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And
Yep.
once you do that, it'll take a lot off of you, I'm sure, you know.
Oh my goodness, so much, Travis. I know. As soon as I do it, because who I don't want to keep low the list. I
Right.
don't want
Yeah.
to keep put. I don't. This takes up so much time. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's how it's looking. And my prayer now is, and that was a big epiphany for me, being stuck on the road. Like, you have great capacity for this, but your capacity for success is quite low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that's what I'm working on this year is just becoming a higher quality Travis, right? The best
Yes.
Travis I can be, give the best service I can give. Because
Hmm.
like Brent says, Brent Daniels, our mentor, you
Yes.
know, in order to level up on that next level, that's what you got to do. You got
Yeah.
to, you got to give the best service. And it's just a whole nother standard of business
It
than
is.
when we first got started. So it's a struggle. It really is. It's one of the hardest thing. It is the hardest thing I've ever done besides being a father, you know?
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's the hardest thing. And I don't know. I want to say it may be even harder than being a mother, just
Oh
because it's
gosh.
such a reflection on me. Like,
Yeah.
everything is everything. The whole thing is developing me.
Yeah. It's fun though. I love it.
It is.
Um, so let's get some secrets out. You're a cold
Okay.
caller. What are your favorite lists? What are your
Oh
favorite
yeah.
lists to go after?
Okay. So my favorite list is the retired landlord. So that is a person who has owned their property for 7 to 10 years.
Okay.
They are 65 years old and older, 65 years old or older. And with that, meaning 7 to 10 years, most people are tired of their property. That's why they are tired. And then most people are 65 and older are retired. And so tired, retired landlord list. So that's one of my favorites. My other favorite is tax delinquent.
Mm,
It's a
I
good
like
one.
those.
Yeah. And I've done probate. I've done a few probates, and they've been good. It's just I'm developing I'm developing relationships with a probate attorney. So
Okay.
that's been able to help it go a lot more smoother, a lot better.
Sure, sure.
Yeah,
With probate too, they are very good deals, but they take a little bit more time and you got to be
exactly.
patient. Yeah.
More time, more work. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but they are good. But yes, but that tired, retired landlord list, I love it. Tax delinquent, love it. I feel like there's something else I'm missing, but those are the top ones that I really do like.
Do you see that a lot of the houses that you wholesale are a lot of them vacant or are they occupied?
Most of them are vacant.
Okay.
So when I come across the tired, retired landlords, if they are not vacant, they're soon to be vacant. And but and then if they are vacant, I have come across this a lot. It's a hoarder house, so it's full of stuff.
Yeah.
But no, for the most part, lately they have been vacant. But I do run across that with the land, and that's the other nuance for tired, retired landlords is that when you come across someone, they will have people, tenants in there, and having to sometimes deal with the tenants. That to me is like relatable to probate.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Take some time.
yeah,
You got to
takes
deal
time.
with a lot of different moving parts. Are they
Right.
going to let you in when they say they're going to let you in? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I know all about that. I
Yep.
love dealing with retired landlords. Uh,
Hmm.
Do you find that those conversations are just typically better than your everyday residential owner because they understand our business more?
No, I don't. I feel sometimes they are the most arrogant,
Yeah.
and unless they're truly, truly just tired,
Yeah.
then then it is a pretty easy conversation. However, if they are still kind of, well, they know they need to let it go, but they don't want to. It's harder. I remember, I can tell you a story. I remember I had this one gentleman, and he was definitely retired. He hadn't been to the property in 5, 6 years, and they lived in the same city.
Yeah.
So it's not like he was out of town. Like, you live 15 minutes away from this property. He hasn't been there 5, 6 years. So as I'm talking to him about the property and what he wants for it, and I went to see the property, looked at it, and the tenants were there, and it was just, oh, it was like one of those, oh my, look at what is happening here. They had all these dogs. The whole backyard was full of feces. It smelled, you could smell it from the street. And so I go back, I took the pictures, I sent it to him, and he's just like, well, nope, this is what I said. I can do this deal for you. I just need it at a lesser price. Are you willing to be flexible on this price? And he's like, no, this is a good property. And I said, yes, correct. I said, as far as, the property and where it is, you're absolutely right. You're correct, sir. I said, your tenant has a wolf. So one of the dogs was a wolf.
Wow.
It was a wolf. And I just kept saying the same thing over and over again. He kept coming back, well, it's this many square feet. It has this many bedrooms. And I just kept saying, your tenant has a wolf. We're going to take on your tenant with a wolf. And I just, then that was the first time I understood the value of being quiet. I just say he has a wolf and just be quiet.
You
And finally, he came down $13,000 on it because your tenant had a wolf. But he was pretty difficult. It's pretty hard.
see, that's something I would expect here in West Virginia, but in Columbus, I never would expect somebody would just have a wolf,
I
in their
wouldn't either,
house.
but they had a wolf.
That's wild.
A wolf, an American bulldog, and some other pets. Yes, they did.
Do you are you always going, because we go into a lot of nasty places. Are you always
Mhm.
going into the houses first? Do you ever like lock it under contract, then go look, or have somebody else go, or is it always you?
No, usually, oh no, it's not always me. Sometimes I do, I can hire someone to go. I have people that will go and I can give them, some money to do that. But most times, yes, I'm usually going first to look at the property and then locking it under the contract because I do it in person with them and to talk to them and to go through the process. Now here lately, since I'm venturing outside of Columbus, then it's been more doing it over the phone and going through that process with them over the phone. But
So
most times, for sure, I'm always getting the pictures first. So do you do that? Do you get the contracts first and then go get pictures?
it depends.
It depends. Okay.
Yeah, here locally, I'm usually going out to look at it first,
Right.
unless they're out of state or I feel like it's a really good deal and they're talking to a bunch of other people and I have to lock it up real
Oh,
quick.
yeah. Okay. That makes
Um,
sense.
but usually virtually, I try to lock anything up
Mm-hmm.
right then and there and then do the inspection, do
Okay.
that whole process.
Yeah.
So you're looking to, or you're advancing outside of Columbus?
I am. Yeah. So that I'm hearing your advice. So that's good to know. So virtually go ahead and lock them up and so then get the do the inspection afterwards. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
What made you want to do that? Dig outside of Columbus? Because I know there's a lot of deals in Columbus.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of deals in Columbus. Just to really expand the business and expand myself and
Yes.
being able to do that, a challenge,
Hmm.
really, because you're right. Columbus is it's a great market. It really is. It's really good.
Awesome.
And it's been good to me.
Well, Stephanie, I appreciate you. I can't believe we've been talking for almost 30 minutes. It's went by
Oh,
really quick.
it did go by fast. Yeah.
We're running out of time, but before we head off of here, I just want people to be able to reach you. If they want to talk to you about life or business or just they want to say, "Hey, I watched your video and I loved it." How can they
Yeah.
reach you?
Awesome. Well, my number, which I put on all my videos, is 614-915-0992. 614-915-0992. And I am on Facebook, Stephanie Hunt. I am on Instagram, Stephanie Hunt to restore every day. So that's my Instagram. And I am on TikTok too, but I really don't remember what it is.
That's
It's
all
probably
good.
Stephanie Hunt something on TikTok. I really don't remember what it is, but that's how you can get in touch with me. Best way by phone for sure. 614-915-0992.
Awesome. You guys better go reach out to her if you need any advice or help. Or Stephanie's an ultimate go-giver. She's gonna respond to you, do deals with you, whatever you
Yeah.
need. Um, well, I appreciate you, Stephanie. If you could leave these good people with one final thing, life, business, whatever, what would you leave them
Mhm.
with?
My final thing would be whatever you're afraid of, whatever you don't want to do it first and right away.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on here, and I hope to have you back soon.
All right. Thank you, Travis. Take care.